So, English. Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a great lunch. Please, 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 we are not hurting people. Come. Come. So, I have 25 minutes, which start just now, on a topic which I really personally like. And it's an amazing topic after lunch. You are sleepy. You are a little bit bored already because it's a second day. And I'm going to provoke you. And I have a jackpot there in the last row who will for sure provoke me. So if you hate it, I have goodies. I have 2 USB sticks to give away if you put veiled questions. And he has a red card immediately. So, how does it start? I hope everybody knows from which movie this is. And I hold this lecture at least now 20, 30 times. It started on a meetup in Zagreb at least 10 years ago, where I had this distinct pleasure of listening to IT people talking about how managers do nothing. They just do meetings. All work is done by developers. Data creates itself out of thin air. Requirements just happen to appear in Jira. Projects get budgeted out of thin air. And money is always available, somehow, at least for salaries. Yeah. So that's the motivation. I will do a really small summary. Summary. This is actually 1 hour lecture needed, and I will try to give you hand down. You will get a question at the end. First one.
Just the audience danger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Ooh. Whoopa. You are guilty if I... yeah. Please. So what happens when you are an IT person working in an IT company where IT is not a core business? You usually, in these days, start going to cloud. And the motivation behind the story is that you start to build a data platform. And there is a lot of mysticism what are data platforms. They are almost magical creatures. They do everything. They will take our jobs. They will destroy the systems which we really hoped to leave our pension on. Our Oracle will live for next 20 years. Our Excel will live for next 20 years. And now we have a data platform. And then you look at presentations, and there is a lot of magic there. There is AI, there is GenAI, there is LLM, there is all magic promised. But actually, this person, Dylan Anderson, I really like his photo, he is showing what is a data platform. It's no more and no less. This is it. It consumes data, it transforms data, and it serves data. What we do with the data is out of scope of a data platform. What I worked for 2 years with Gartner is to basically turn this mindset down. AI is not part of a data platform. AI is a consumer of data from data platform. When you do this, this is the data platform. Your consumer can be BI, can be ML, can be AI, can be Power BI, can be Snowflake Market Store. But this is the scope of a data platform. But is this data platform in enterprises, in corporates? And at the time when you, a low-tier poor developer, gets a wind that we will implement a huge fancy cloud platform, things already started at least some months ago. And how many months depends on the company. And I will show you a little bit of insights how the process works before you even know that there is a cloud transformation going on. What are the main drivers? First of all, no corporate has legacy. We have all state-of-the-art systems based on COBOL and Excel. Second one, we don't have silos. We for sure don't have 3 data warehouses working in parallel. Usually 1 in business and 2 in IT. And for sure we don't have Excels going around. And then we have a huge problem of technically immature enterprises which never understood cloud. They just heard it as a buzzword. These are the three main drivers. But then I give you 5 seconds to read these bullet points. This is official ones. These are the human ones. When you are in IT, the only value you see is code. Because I'm the producer of value. There is no other value. And then the conflict begins. Managers do nothing. Controllers fill out their Excels. They're basically useless administrators. And there is no governance. Governance is just a buzzword for managers to have something to do. That's the general attitude. A little bit more enlightened people don't think this, but there is a huge movement in IT, in corporates that actually do think this on operational level. Requirements just magically appear. Tell me what to do. There will be a GR story that somebody in business will fill out. I have no idea what is the background, or business value doesn't matter. Why do I care about business value? What is business value? I just write code, right? And the last one is we will do agile. We will do agile data cloud project. I will agilely quit if I hear this word. Agile does not work on data projects, period. Kanban works maybe. Scrum doesn't work, period, end. Data development is not software engineering. There is no POC of delivery of business value. You can do a POC of technology. But if the value is achieved by 5 columns in a table, 3 columns are not a POC, because out of 3 columns I cannot do anything. It's the same as having a 0 one. And then you do some projects over time, and then you have some experience behind. The experience of what in Vienna there's a person leading a meetup, it's called fuck-ups. It's extremely popular. People lecture about fuck-ups. This is what people with experience unfortunately experienced. You are building a service. You are not playing with tech. I really don't care if it's Snowflake, Databricks, Fabrics, whatever. Hadoop if you are really poor and unfortunate. There is no documentation. Documentation is like war plan. It stops on the first day of fighting. It's completely useless piece of beep. Scope doesn't exist. Delivery exists. Scope, we will now enable this. You will do nothing. You will deliver data. That's the scope of a data platform. Your work is highly political. Because your work can cost other budgets, can cost value inside a corporation. It costs people their pension jobs. You attack pension jobs, you will have enemies. You will cost people their 20-year maintenance of Excel, which they hope to do another 20 years. We had people in one bank which really did a maintenance of Excel as a full-time job. And they hated it when we moved it to Oracle. They had to learn SQL, my God, in data. And there are 2 levels of motivation. First one is salespeople. You will do cost reduction, right? You will scale. You will not have to have a data center. You will not have to buy hardware. You will do scaling up, scaling down, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Then you go with Gartner, a Big Four, and they do the same words, just in a different, more beautiful slides, which, by the way, they recycle. You will enable new tools. Like you couldn't do new tools before, but now you can do it in a more scalable and easy way. And now you start to think, we are on a cloud, and now we can test 3 tools. But we still don't have a use case. We still don't have a business value, but we will test tools. And the only problem why you are starting with cloud is not tech, but state-of-the-art system you have now. Nobody cares about tools. Tool is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. Then the things which nobody can officially say, because then it's not state-of-the-art, and we are not doing a slight improvement, but we are just fixing a bunch of beep. But nobody can say this, right? Everybody has SAP. Everybody has whatever, Oracle, right? Who maintains it? That person who left to pension 2 weeks ago, and God forgive if it breaks in production, because nobody knows what that COBOL crap is doing for the last 15 years. And the last person maintaining it is just going to pension. But that's not why we're doing a cloud migration. We are doing cloud migration because of tech. Second, processes. Of course, we have full documentation of all processes. We all know how our company works perfectly, right? Yes, everything is documented. We know, yeah, right. And then you buy a company. And this is usually what happens. And then you have to merge it to systems which were never developed to be merged. There is no interconnectivity. You have a .NET solution, and you buy a core on Java. And then you do this monstrosity that you exchange data with files over file shares in 2020s. Because that's the only way to interconnect systems. But yes, we are doing cloud migration because of tools. What I'm trying to get here, cloud migration is not a technical project. It's a fixing of fuck-ups project, usually. Then you package it as innovation. Then you package it as improvement. But nobody is telling you why we really started. Because you cannot admit. Because then you have problems. You don't have challenges, you have problems, an evil word. What's the end goal? First, it starts with sales, a sales pitch. That's always the first level, right? This you saw on 100 slides from every vendor, every big four, every salesman. One-stop shop for self-service data. So business, especially controlling guys or risk guys, will just do a simple select on your new fancy cloud data warehouse and go to coffee and do nothing after lunch because it will be self-served. No company ever achieved this. They still have their Excels, they're just loading it. Yeah. It will be a single source of truth. Yes, comparing to that Excel which you have on a C drive, it will be a single source of truth. But you have to sell it as a single source of truth. This is what you get in a corporate email. Second level, which I always talk to ITs, which they usually don't see, is a little bit more deeper technical one. The first one is obvious. The second one, transparent data quality pipelines and orchestrations, like you didn't have it for now. Now you also have transparent data quality. Probably your data quality gives 1,000 errors per orchestration, but you have it transparently logged. You have a logging system, an alerting system. And then we start the topic of data mesh. It's a super keyword. We will give access to business. We will work with them to create data products. There is no clear definition of what data products is. It's customizable, meaning it's chaotic. And do I hear word agile with data mesh? And then there is an agile data mesh movement. So you have no structure, business involvement, no clear modeling patterns, and Scrum on top. With a technically unprepared companies to go to cloud, what can go wrong? And then there is the word of compliance, which basically means governance. And what IT people hate is governance. Why? They have to talk to business. They have to communicate with those people on the third floor who want a list of values, Valid from valid to, my God, you die. You cannot do SQL and Python, you have to talk to people. And then reality kicks in. What is a cloud migration project? It's nothing more than a hope. A very expensive, very heavily achievable hope. I don't do kiddie lectures, I'm quite direct. The second bullet point, the keyword of agile, involvement of business. And what's the first exercise that any agile does? We are one team, one project. Let's work together. Let's give a product owner, a beautiful concept of agile, sit with your IT teams on the same room and help you. And then quitting starts. Guess why? Because we are one team now. Nobody sees the problem. We are now unity. We had a funny t-shirt, Agile Boy Collective, but they didn't allow me to carry it too much. Processes are all amazing. They exist. We are peak of technology. We are just modernizing. But if you ask if you are state of the art and modernizing, then why are you modernizing? Because it's already state of the art. There is a problem there, right? No, it's a modernizing project. And then the last one is a political conflict. Because in cloud, some things become extremely visible. Who is using the data? How data is used or abused? And that maybe data warehouse is no longer a single source of truth. And then what you discover are silos, which are either VBAs in Excel, which is a good thing. The worst thing is if it's in some other legacy language. So what are we really paying with cloud? We take back control. We pay the hope of taking back control. And we hope that tomorrow we can consume an API from cloud, from marketplace, and not in a way like, of course, nobody is doing it like this, of course, downloading it to text files and then consuming it with Java code on your local file share, but yes, we are consuming an API because you have COBOL and it's state of the art. And it allows you one really important thing, removing vendor locks, if designed properly. Because if you see a system which bought a Snowflake, Databricks, Fabrics, whatever tool you are using, and doesn't have a plan to quickly exit that system, then it's a badly designed cloud platform. That's why we have tools like dbt, which extract ETL to a layer. Writing business logic directly in the platform gives you new Oracle, gives you a new vendor lock. You failed. I don't care how beautiful it works, you failed. You have to define product owners. You know what's the problem of product owners? It's not a cushy game in Agile. You are rolling dice, playing Agile poker, getting T-shirts, doing free drinks, and no alcohol during work time, yeah. But you have to define responsibility. What's the worst thing in corporates? Taking responsibility. Who wants to take responsibility? Nobody. Who wants to achieve results? Everybody. Fourth problem, we actually have to explain what we are doing. Go to an average IT person in corporates and ask him what he's doing. He will say, I'm loading tables using this, doing a job. But what are you doing? The answer is, I don't care. I'm loading 5 tables. What's inside? Data. NVICars, daytimes, integers, and I'm optimizing indexes. What is inside? I don't give a peep. We have to write business use cases. Who needs to write business use cases? Product owner. Owner of data. Who is business? what happens when you write a business case? You become responsible, and we are back to the evil word. And this is what cloud really excels in. Monitoring, not just of cost, but of usage. My people, I'm understaffed. I need more FTE. But your people didn't even log in for the last 2 days, and they executed 2 select statements. They were so busy on everything else, but we have a cloud-first strategy, so nothing on-premise can exist. So what they are doing? Oh, they are very busy. How busy? It becomes transparent. And secondly, you can assign cost. In world of on-premise, you have hardware, you have a data center, you have Oracle, SQL Server, whatever you have, and you click and execute, and the worst things, you kill existing CPUs, but it has a fixed cost. Here, your data scientist, data engineer fucks up, and then he tries to speed up, increases the license size to Excel in Snowflake or whatever, and burns $1,000. Who pays? That department, not IT. The owner of data, the requester of data. Do we see conflict here? No. Data platform is not an IT project. It never was, it never will. It's nothing more than key data business transformation project. Everything else, choosing of tools, doing CI/CDs, doing monitoring, this is cherry on top. This is 5% on top. That's the least of the data projects. One almost last slide, importance of sponsors. Sponsors are not departments. Sponsors have a name. They have a contract which says, if I don't achieve the KPI, I will be fired. If I achieve a KPI, I will get a bonus. My sponsor is not marketing, sales, or IT. My sponsor is this guy in the last row who will fire me at the end of the session. And then, do we ever fail in corporates? We never fail. We have 2 definitions of end of projects in corporates. Successful closing, it's not a failure, it's a successful closing. And stopping of investment. These are 2 synonyms for failure, but they sound so cool. Because every corporate will say, we have a failure culture, but nobody can fail. Because behind closed door, you will never get a new toy again. The last slide, what do we need to do to put together a modern data platform? You have sponsors, you have money, you have a use case, you have budget, and then you have a cloud-first strategy on a beautiful 40-slide PowerPoint, which absolutely nobody will read, but it's beautiful, you have to have it. And then you say, yeah, finally I can code. I can create users, provision, buckets, databases. But as a low-tier employee, as a developer, you now get a kickoff invite. It has pizzas, colas, but the process in the background was brewing for at least half a year. But you think you are now so fancy because you are going to the kickoff, and now you will give your opinion. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion, and everything is already decided. Can I now start writing some code? Please, no. Now you need to step back and start with governance. Oh no, no more Excel. No, now we will do agile governance. We will meet business. More pizzas, more cola, evil. And then you need to start building this. You need to start defining life cycles. Still no code. Principles. My God, I need to write Confluence pages. Classification of validity. GDPR versus non-GDPR. Still no code, still no deliveries. And we need to find KPIs. Who gives KPIs? The managers. Still we are not doing any work. Can we start writing some code in some tool? You will say the Databricks is amazing as a developer, but yeah, we decided on Snowflake, so fuck you, we'll write on Snowflake. And the first task you will get, if it's anyway properly managed, these three. Why? Not because of technical topics, because you want a spyware. You want to monitor what people are doing. Use the best tools available. They will be decided for you. Your opinion realistically doesn't matter. You still don't write any code. And then you start the proof of concept, which lasts for 6 months. As a short MVP. But that's a story for another day. Thank you all. And these are the books as the last slide you should read. They are about this topic. Thank you all. Questions? I have 2 USB sticks. Questions? I don't care, I'm over time. 2 questions.
No. I'm just coming to,
Thank you.
to say it's fine.
Questions? Goodies? Questions, goodies?
Can I have one? That's a question.
You already got one. Don't pimp. Questions?
No, seriously, guys. Do you have any questions? We do have time for at least 1 or 2.
If not,
Oh,
no, please.
I
Hey.
think he was scratching his head. I don't know if he was.
No, it's catching
No,
the...
he is. Just get him volunteers.
Yeah, please, go.
Yeah, go ahead.
What? Reduce the cost. Yes. Depends on how much legacy you have already onboarded. I did a really huge project for Gartner, and they actually hired a couple of us to actually answer exactly that question. How does it reduce cost? It's not about firing people. It's not about decreasing FTEs. It's about heavy monitoring of usage. We were working with Snowflake. It's one of the biggest Snowflake implementations in the world. We made 3 rules. Nobody can get more than the minimum instance. Nobody. God himself cannot get it unless you show me why, and then you show me your code. Second one, you need to tell me why you need access to the platform. Your secretary cannot get it because you like her. I want a use case why this person needs access to the data platform. Third, how will you distribute data? You have to heavily monitor. They replaced 8-digit Oracle licensing with 7-digit Snowflake licensing. It's still huge cost. They killed entire data center in Amsterdam. But the governance of this has to be, you need to be a Attila person. Can my friend in the other department get an account? No. Why does he need an account? But for this you need CTO backup. First
Okay.
stick, second stick.
Right next to her, we'll get her the microphone.
Yeah.
Hi. Have you ever done something for monitoring and transparency and controlling who gets to see it, but on-prem?
Who gets to?
When you control who gets to see the data and monitoring who does what, but on-prem, not just in cloud.
Okay, on-prem, I didn't. I started with monitoring only in cloud, but I can give you a different answer. What kind of monitoring you need is everything. So, more concrete answer. We monitored ingestion on S3 to the point of which how many files were delivered per hour. We monitored how many users connected, what these users executed. We monitored cost per query, not cost per user. We gave each business head, each department head a report how many of each of his employees spent money. We gave how much data we extracted. We gave how much. We were a fucking spyware. I don't know how to implement it on premise, but it's about the concept, right? But we monitored everything, and it seems a little bit spyware-ish, but that's the only way to control the system. Yeah, and whoever spent the money had to pay it. Yeah, so each month IT would issue invoices to business units, internal ones. This is how much your people spent. And it was a huge internal invoicing exercise, but this built responsibility.
And was there much value gained from?
Financially, two things. Financially, yes, not so much, 30%. The second one, they killed silos massively. Because they showed that this department, that's why I said conflict, actually doesn't do much. Because their people connect maybe on Fridays and execute 2 SQL queries, but the marketing of the department is they need more people. And you can guess then the conflict story. 2 sticks go to you guys. Anybody else?
No, actually, we don't have time
Thank
for anymore,
you.
but thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
presentation. This is for you.
Thank you.
Please leave the clicker with the next speaker.